Hello, everybody. It's me, it's Andy Decade. Andy here in the pre-show for Moonbase 2. Hello, we're with Orange. Hey, Orange. Let's see if you're working.
Yo,
Hey,
am I working?
You are. Discord's working, and your little avatar is working as well. It's using your Discord Catra image, so when you react, it will light up.
Oh, a catcher. All right. Hello.
Yeah. There you go. To get it to be the orange that I made you, I would need to send it to you and all that jazz. And I was like, I'll just this is faster to do, you know.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. You doing okay though today?
I'm doing pretty good. Today's a nice day.
You got anything fun planned for after the show for the rest of the day?
Yeah, not really.
No.
Nah.
No. You're not gonna go toy
I might
hunting.
think of something. I don't know.
Go toy hunting. Go find something.
You know what? Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I might.
I mean, what's in the area at the moment that could be out?
I think I'll check some Ross's, maybe a Target.
Oh, okay. Anything in particular that you think might be in the area? Or is it just like a swing and a prayer kind of deal?
No, I don't. I'm not expecting to find anything. If I find like another shard or something, I'll troop build these rocks. Why not?
Oh no, the one person army building rock people. Have you seen anybody do anything crazy with the rocks yet? As like in combinations?
Not yet. They seem pretty limited in comparison to the other weaponizer style bots. That like you could hardly do anything with their torsos unless you have a lot of because it doesn't have any 5mm pegs. It just has the ports.
That's right. Yeah. Huh. Maybe we're waiting for like that one, or people like yourself are waiting for that one rock lord who's the multi-purpose rock lord to bring all the rock lords together. It's like the centerpiece to peg all or port all of them into, you know?
It would be nice, yeah.
It's a shame that they're not all built around in that kind of system, but maybe it's just missing that one specific rock lord where the play pattern just kind of falls into itself, you know?
You know, I did DM, it wasn't BMAC, it was Mark. I pointed out, well, the recent weaponizer style figures, the Junkions and the Rock Lord guys, don't have 5mm pegs on their torsos, so you can't like weaponize someone with like all of it. And I was like, why not put a 5mm peg on their torso so we can do that? He's like, noted. So hopefully,
who knows? Hopefully that'll, yeah, like you say, it'll edge them towards doing a little bit more oomph with them. Because I might not have liked the fossilizers, but I think it was pretty impressive when people were combining all of them together to make the like giant bone Goliath Titan things. That was always pretty neat to see.
The Dark Souls bosses, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Nito, for example, and whatnot. Yeah, they always look good. And it did almost make me buy them, but I was like, man, I'm going to have to get dupes to be able to do this. Like, lots of dupes and spend lots of money. And this was after the sale on them, because some of them were, like, cheap as shit. Like, the pterodactyl one, I think I remember seeing that go for, like, £10 at one point, or cheaper.
Oh, I was like, wow, nice.
Not interested. So.
I really wanted to build like the skull chair out of the what was it, the two T-Rex guy.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that. Yeah, that was pretty cool as well. That's where they really kind of came into their elements, I think, more so than individual transforming figures. They were something you need loads and loads of. I feel. At least I feel, at least. Exel Hedge. Hey, Exel Hedge. Exel Hedge says, I officially hate my area. Over 1 year later and a couple of months, and I had to drive out of town for a overpriced second hand. I start finding Studio Series Snarl in my local area. Oh, isn't that always the way? It was waiting for you, man. It was waiting for you to get Snarl. They were like, he's got it, bring him in. Have you ever had that happen to you, Orange?
Yeah, a couple times. It's,
do you remember which figures it was?
Oh wow! Any examples I can think of?
Yeah.
No, honestly.
Has it been a while then since that happened to you?
Probably, yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Not for Exelhead, he gets fucked over. But at least for you, you've managed to avoid it for a little while. That's something, at least.
Oh, there was an instance where I got I think it was off of Amazon, the really cheapo well, that wasn't cheapo at the time, the Walmart exclusive beasts like Sandstorm, Buzzsaw, and was it Night Prowler? And then like a month later, they started popping up in Ross stores for like a third of their price.
Because no one bought them or something.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks. It always sucks when that happens. Always. Shall we get on to talking about G2 figures? Shall we start a poopcast?
Oh, yeah, let's go.
All right, let's play some music.
Welcome to Moonbase 2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast. My name is Andy, Decade Andy. I'm joined here by the Orange. Orange, hey, how's it going?
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, we're here to talk about G2. We're continuing on with our look through the catalogues of the past. This was a little bit harder this week as G2 didn't have an abundance of catalogues. I had a decent amount of new figures, but not a lot of advertisement for them, which I think is probably a good representation of how Transformers was doing at the time in like 93 to 95, which was pretty poor, right?
Yeah, they seem to not do pretty well, but I love the toys, so I don't care about anything else.
Wait, I'm surprised because I know that the UK got a lot of these were like UK exclusives, or some of them were at the very least, like Overlord and the Brain Masters, without the combination pieces, which we may or may not get to because there aren't any catalogs of them, but we could talk about them.
The motivators.
Thanks. That's right. Yeah, with very slight color changes, at least to what's his name, Blacker? The Doom Buggy one, who's mainly
Blacker, Laster, and the third guy.
Yeah, I think Blacker was the only one that had like any changes to his color scheme, though. I think, right?
Oh, really?
Because Blacker in the UK, like his red, like for his robot mode, was orange, for some reason, and I think the rest of him was the same. And I can't remember about the other two. Not off the top of my head, I don't remember. But this was my generation of Transformers for the most part. Was it your generation? Like, was this the toys that you were buying as a child?
I bought most of the G2 figures, yeah, but I was mainly interested in the tail end of G1. You know, the all the Micromasters, the Pretenders, etc. But I was really on board with the G2 stuff because I really love the obnoxious neon on them. Just the more colorful, the better.
Yeah, I was all into that stuff as well. Personally, I always thought that was I don't know. It just had that kind of visual kick that you looked at it and went, yeah. No, I'm in. It's really bright, colorful, and interesting. I guess we should start off with. I guess we could do either. What do you want to do? Do you want to talk about yellow Constructicons because they're probably the least interesting, I suppose. Whether the one that isn't the new stuff at the very least.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
just like,
yeah, sure.
Hey, it's the Constructicons, but what if they were yellow and purple? And I'd argue a better color scheme. I don't know. I like the G2 color scheme. Yeah, definitely more realistic.
Every time I think of G2 Constructicons, I think of the orange set, and I had the orange set, and apparently it's really rare, and I don't have that setting anymore, and I'm just kicking myself.
Which came out first? Was it the yellow one that came out first, or was it the orange one that came out first? Because I've never never been sure.
I'm pretty sure it was the yellow. If they didn't come out at the same time, the orange set seemed like an exclusive in my area, which may or may not be true. I don't know.
Okay. I didn't have a lot of I had kind of a mixture of G1 Constructicons and G2. So I never had the full set. And I'm pretty sure... Did the G2... No, the G2 ones definitely did come with the combiner parts. I had... Who did I have that was G2? I had Hook, who was G2. And I think I had the rest of them that were green, but for some reason I was never able to make Brudica. Oh, no, I had Hook, and he didn't come with the combiner head.
Yeah, I think there was a set released sometime. I don't know when. Maybe after the G2 Devastator proper came out, where they don't have any combiner parts with them for some reason.
Yeah, that was the one I had. I didn't want to say it because I was like, no, I've seen G2 Devastator and he's combined. Did I just lose the head? Am I stupid? No, I'm and thankfully you said the Hook I had just didn't have the head. And to be honest, I didn't know how to use the hip, the waist piece. I didn't know how that worked. I had no idea. I looked at it and I was like, how does it, like, I had Scramble City combiners. So I was used to kind of that method of like combining them together, and the way that the waist kind of plugs in and you kind of shove it into the groinal region of long haul. For child me, I was just like, I don't understand this. I didn't get it.
I might not have either, but I remember the day that I got my first G1 Devastator set, and my dad sat down with me and helped me out with it. So I probably learned that way.
Excel Hedge says Tonkinator. See, I don't like Tonkinator as much because Tonkinator is G2, but instead of purple, it's black. And the black's okay, but I like the purple. You know, the purple's the cohesive Decepticon color, and I think purple and yellow just work really nicely off each other.
Yeah, and I think Tonkinator has like Autobot symbols for some reason. It doesn't feel right.
I've looked at Tonkinator and been like, well, it's not really the G2 one I'd want. Excel Hedge also says yellow was the one advertised. Okay, so maybe you were right, Orange. Maybe the orange one was an exclusive of some sort, at least a more limited run. I don't know for sure. Did you like the G1 Constructicons? If yes, you probably liked these, unless you hated the color scheme, I suppose.
They were really fun. I loved them. They were like, if you were to ask my favorites back then, I probably wouldn't say them, but they were my go-to for just like playing around with, because they were construction vehicles. I loved construction vehicles.
It was nice how they all transformed differently as well, which you could argue with a lot of the 90s stuff. A lot of the 90s stuff transformed in very simplistic, easy ways. And the Constructicons all had a unique transformation to them. Unfortunately, I don't know how it happened. It might have been due to tightness, but my Hook, I snapped the leg off of him. I think it was his, let's call it the big club foot versus the normal sized foot. I'm assuming that it was just a really tight joint, and it broke off at where the knee would be, which was quite a sad thing. I hadn't had anything like that happen with any of my other Constructicons, so it did put a bit of a downer on Hook at the very least, which was a shame because Hook's very cool.
He was.
Who's your favorite out of the Constructicons then for the toys, toy-wise?
Toy-wise, I would say Long Haul, honestly.
I think mine was Bone Crusher. I liked how he transformed as like the scoop folded up into his chest. You know, he had the weird legs, and his arms were kind of like in the muscle kind of pose, like he's flexing all the time. But Long Haul was also, again, really satisfying to transform as well. My issue with Hook specifically was I always wanted the scoop to collapse onto his back a bit more. It never did though. That's what I wanted.
I know what you mean. And yeah, Bone Crusher is pretty fun to transform. A very unique transformation. I don't remember any other Transformer that has that transformation since Bone Crusher. I didn't have the Combiner Wars version. I'm pretty sure he transformed the same way too, but yeah.
Possibly. I remember my least favorite was Mixmaster Probably because he compared to the rest of them, he didn't do much transforming.
Yeah, just stand him up and flip
his arms
his
out.
cab out for the
Yeah.
legs. Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. It's like, I mean, that's okay. It wasn't great.
Oh
but
yeah,
like,
and pop his little missiles in his little hoodie.
I never did that. I always thought that looked weird. Also, because it's like you couldn't store them in vehicle mode. That goodbye in the parts box if it even went into the parts bin or the toy box, just vanished into the ether.
Yeah,
Excel Hedge says, I like how the first combiner is amongst the smallest of G2. Yeah, I mean, it's based off was it Diaclone? Was it Diaclone that was Devastator? Or was it Microman?
Might have been Diaclone.
I can't remember.
Probably.
I remember, I don't like that color scheme either way, because isn't it like a color for everyone? There's a blue one, a yellow one, a red one, a green one. For
I
the
think there was like
Constructicons.
2 green ones, 2 red ones, something like that.
Is that how it was?
I can't remember.
I thought it was just Six Builders colors. If you know Six Builder,
I do maybe.
I thought it was
but
just
yeah,
those colors. But
the G2 figures are a lot bigger than the line used to be. Like they got bigger.
Yeah, that's one thing about the entire line, as we'll see going through. They got more simplistic, but they got unique toys, which was nice. And they got really big and chunky, so they felt nice and durable in hand. Which one would you like to talk about first, Orange? We've talked about the one that we just kind of get through because it's like, oh, we've talked about Devastator before. So pick your poison. Where would you like to start?
What about the Predators?
Oh, okay.
Start in the top left
solid
there.
choice. I guess we'll start off with the Jets then, the small Predators, as they're classed as small Predators versus large Predators or Predator. So the set consists of Talon, Falcon, Snare, and Skydive. As a kid, I only had Talon and Falcon of the two. Oh no, I had Snare as well. The only one I was missing was Skydive, who I got later on in life. They all transform the same apart from Falcon. Falcon has a little bit of a different transformation, but for the most part, it's all grab legs, pull them down, and then flip a nose cone down, and that's them transformed. Nice and simple, but they all have interesting jet modes. I really, really enjoyed all of their jet modes. All of them were good. The maybe an issue was Falcon. Talon. Yeah, Talon and Falcon's color schemes were a bit too similar. One was greeny and one was more gray, and they were a little bit too similar on the color spectrum together, I think. What did you think of these guys, Orange? Did you like them? Did you have them? Any of them stand out to you?
I did not have them. I think they were some of the Europe exclusives.
Oh, really? Have you had them later on as a collector?
No, I did have the Skyquake mold as Machine Wars Starscream, and I loved it. That was a very good toy. I really like Skyquake's color scheme. For some reason, the like magenta and gold goes with the deal, and the like bright green like little tiny missiles. And I noticed, like, are they the same mold as the missiles from the little guys?
Yes, yeah. So they're interchangeable. That's why Skyquake has a tiny baby gun, because it's a gun that everybody could use.
Oh, I see it now. Everyone has that gun.
Yeah, it was the same with the Turbo Masters as well. They all shared. Well, we'll get to it. They all shared missiles almost. It was necessary with Skyquake because Skyquake came with a crap ton of missiles. We'll talk about Skyquake in a bit and focus on the small Predators just for the moment. Each Predator came with 3 green missiles, as mentioned by Orange, that could be used on Skyquake, and they also came with, in their little tumbly wumblies, let's just call it a device that you could flip down, and there was a clear translucent bit of plastic that had a bit of artwork on, which would be usable on Skyquake's engine, I guess you could call it, periscope, the thing on the back of his head for the jet mode, which again we'll get to. That was his big gimmick thing. But yeah, I'd recommend trying to pick up at least one Predator Jet Orange if you can, just because, don't get me wrong, it's not something that you're going to play with and be like, wow, what an interesting, unique transformation. But it's one of those things where I think these have some really interesting looking designs for a character that you could build around, and they're not just the Seekers. We have a jet with backwards wings, which is always cool. We have the plane that Starscream was in the movie, a skydive, or close enough to that, which is kind of neat. You have a kind of stealth bomber for Falcon, and then I guess a more standard kind of fighter jet with Talon. I like all of them. All of them have a unique head sculpt as well, which is quite nice, and have the really good light piping, and they pump out that light right through them, which is something that light piping doesn't do too well in modern days. I don't think they've got light piping down as well as they did back in the 90s. Would you agree with that?
I agree. And they have something that we're sorely missing in modern Transformers, which is like the diversity between molds in like similar transformations and everything. Because like if these were released in modern days, they would have to be released separately. They would be the exact same mold, maybe with some tweaks here and there. Like the Decepticon Target Masters were in the Titans Return line. Remember that? They shared a lot of parts, like particularly the legs, etc.
They were really well done, which was surprising.
They were. I have all three of them, and they do feel unique and interesting. But like I said, their parts, like the skeletal parts and the legs, they're pretty much the same.
Yes,
but these guys, like how they used to be done, they were just really different, unique molds, and I really dig that. Like not only for these guys, but there were like another set of jets, another set of Decepticon jets in G2, which I did have, and they were my favorite early G2 stuff. They were really fun.
I guess you could say maybe an issue is they have a fair few stickers on them as well. So if you want to get these now, it might be difficult to find them with nicely clean kept stickers on them, which is a bit of a shame. Something you'll probably find as well, as we'll talk about it with Skyquake, all of their guns are made out of Gold Plastic Syndrome guns. So more than likely, what you'll find is a lot of them won't have handles because they have the smallest little nubs for handles. They're not 5mm ports, unfortunately. They are. I don't even know how big the little ports pegs on them are. I'm trying to think of like a good example.
I can imagine it because I can see Skyquake's little fist hole from here, from the picture. And I noticed when we were talking about him initially that Skyquake's big like GPS engine rear, right? That looks like it's gonna crumble if you get one today. That doesn't look stable.
Fingers crossed mine hasn't had any issues, but we could, we'll talk about Skyquake then, because the Gold Plastic, he's got it on, like you said, on his big engine thing. It's in his chest. It's on the copper visor bit on the back of his head, which you could flip up and down to either give him light piping or not, which I always thought was kind of confusing, but it's there. It's on his waist, his groin area, and it's also on his back, where again there's a switch on his back, or a lever, a slider on his back where you can grab the Gold Plastic Syndrome handle or thing and slide it up, and it would reveal a load of translucent green plastic for the rest of him. So again, would help with like making him really bright and colorful and all that jazz. It's very, very cool. At least I thought it was a really neat play feature, because he could pretend like he was powering up his energy attacks, like, he's storing his solar beam like Ivy saw or something. In terms of other kind of not accessories but gimmicks, he had a bomb drop feature. So the silver part on the back of the side engine things where the bombs go. You could twist those around so the little green bombs would drop out. That's pretty cool. Wasn't a smooth feature because it was on ratchety kind of joints, so you really had to crank it for them to kind of get to the right point where the missile would fall out. So it wasn't very smooth, but yeah, it was kind of neat. Was that all the gimmicks? Oh, and the telescope on the back. So the smaller jets, their little translucent bit of artwork could go into the top. If you look at the jet mode, into the big hole in the top, and you'd use the silver bit on the very back to look through. And there were two other points that you could, like, there's a silver bit a little bit further forward from the very back. You could flip that up and down. I couldn't remember. I think if I remember right, because it's been a while since I've used it, that silver bit on the back that you can see you swing upwards was a mirror on the inside. So you could swing it up, and there was a hole in the bottom of the translucent plastic part, and it would look directly down. So I think the idea was you looked through it, you could see directly down, so when you drop the bombs, it would look like you were dropping the bombs as they'd see it through the jet, is what I think they were trying to go for. Which is pretty neat.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. I never actually knew that it functioned like that. I had the Machine War Starscream. Yeah, it probably didn't come with all the features that Skyquake did. So
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if yeah, I don't know if they would have removed it or not. Maybe they just took out the bit of reflective material on the inside, I suppose, or they might have just left it in, because it was something that I never, as a kid, really understood what the purpose was of it. I think it's just something you could just forget. Skyquake also does have a translucent bit of clear artwork in his thing there as well for himself, so he doesn't have to use somebody else's. He has his own. It's similar to Stalker's missile, but it's way more advanced. Just because it has like the extra kind of swinging, looking down gimmick and stuff like that. But it's, yeah, it's neat. My issue with Skyquake is he has very silly, tiny baby feet. He does have heel spurs, so he's not going to topple over, thankfully. But just the size of the feet in ratio to the rest of him looks a bit strange. Otherwise, I loved Skyquake as a kid. He was a really, really big jet for a young kid, with bright, interesting colors, a really cool head design, and a pretty simple but fun transformation, I'd say.
Yeah, and I didn't know about these guys when I got Machine Wars Starscream. And Machine Wars Soundwave, I had.
Oh yeah, that was Stalker, wasn't it? It was Soundwave.
Yeah, and it's a shame because the little jets weren't in Machine Wars. It was like new molds that like auto transform. So I didn't know these molds existed, and I really wish I got them somehow.
It's kind of weird that they didn't just port over the Predators and just do them as, you know, Starscream, Thundercracker, and Skywarp, and maybe just left one off, you know? Because I could see them doing Starscream from Snare. I could see that. I could see Thundercracker as maybe Falcon and Talon as Skywarp, potentially. And they just kind of leave Skydive out. I think they could have done that.
Yeah, I suppose. I have no idea which came first, but maybe those molds were developed for like Beast Wars 2, you know, the auto transforming jets, and they just decided to bring those over, or I don't know, vice versa. But
yeah, I can't remember which came first, but yeah, there were a couple of the Dirge Gun and what's his name? Thrustor. I know Thruster was used for quote unquote Megatron for like the auto transforming jet that you mentioned. And I can't remember what Dirge Gun was used. I think he was used a couple of times and named random things as you do for Machine Wars.
I think those forms were just named Thrust and Dirge, and they got like the different names when they upgraded to the cyborg beasts.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was Thrustor. Yeah, it was Thrust, then Thrustor, and Dirge, and then Dirge Gun. That's right. Yeah. What do you think is the best repaint of Skyquake, or the best version of Skyquake? Because there is a few. There's a couple of versions, which I'll pull up on screen as well.
Honestly, I really like the original. It's just it's just I would imagine it's iconic, but like this is it perfectly it's just perfect late G1 early G2. It's like so colorful, and it's cohesive. It just makes sense as just the color scheme, and it's a really fun toy. I wish I wish bots like this would get updated or like even re-released. I would just love to get a re-release of that without the GPS, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the reason I didn't buy the Transformers Prime like legacy version of Skyquake or Dreadwing is because I'm like, we'll just do you kind of halved it and done kind of like a nod to the G2 version. So why not just do the G2 version? Just give them a new head, put that out. That's what I'm waiting for. Whether they will or here's the reason why they could, because they could then do them into, as we have on screen, Machine Wars Starscream, if you wanted to go that way, which is an okay color scheme. I don't think it's as interesting, but it's pretty cool. You know, giant black jet and all that jazz. And then maybe the best version of the character, or at least a really fun one, King Atlas from the Universe line. Did you ever see King Atlas?
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw him in stores. I passed on him because I already have Machine War Starscream. But yeah, he looks pretty good. I really wish like as fun as the legacy Skyquake is, and it'll probably be repainted into this version. I really wish there was like a Commander class Skyquake that was
same.
this. Yeah, but
yeah,
that won't happen for like, I don't know, 10 years, if at all.
Yeah,
so.
I wouldn't be surprised if it never happens, because the cycle seems to be go through the main popular characters, and then if there are any like super obscure ones, maybe put one or two in, but we never get to the point where it gets so obscure where we get to these like late NG2 characters. We just never seem to get there before the cycle kind of picks back up again and like revamp, you know, your G1 Optimus Prime, your Megatron, etc., etc. Which is a bummer.
Yeah.
Exel Hedge says, wait, so is movie Devastator's colors based on the Diaclone? Oh, I think so. I think it might be, but don't hold me to that. Don't hold me to that. And Exel Hedge also says, Machine Wars Starscream and Hasbro needs to do a legacy repaint already. Yeah, I think so. I mean, like I say, just make a new head, one new head for that mold, and then you can get 3 repaints out of it.
I would love for them to retool the knees, because I want the cockpit knees. You have to have those.
Yeah, that'd be neat. I'd be down for that as well, to be honest, but I think that's maybe asking a bit much of current day Hasbro. Well, when I say it's asking too much, I mean it's asking more than they're willing to do, not more than they should be doing, I would say.
Yeah, the designers are only given a limited budget, and if they only have enough for a head, then what can they do, right?
Yeah, exactly. So Skyquake and them, they're good. And last up, the medium Predators, which was Stalker, who turned into a cool, like, 4 tracks missile launcher. Pretty cool again. Had a fun transformation where, like, he actually has a waist joint as you spin the legs round, which is quite fun. He has a missile on his back, which I've lost, unfortunately, but on the side you can see a little translucent peg sticking out. That's where you flip up and down the translucent bit of plastic inside with a bit of artwork, his little bit of artwork. The black peg sticking out on a slider is to open the big square thing in the top for the other Predator jets. Bit of clear plastic to go in there and kind of sit in the top there. And it would also let in more light, for example. So it was just a less complex gimmick than what Skyquake was doing. But I really liked him. I thought he had a really cool head design. Quite a fun transformation, which again, in this era was kind of unique. Like I said, he had a waist joint. And the way that you transformed his arms was, again, quite interesting. And you said you had the Soundwave version of this?
Yeah, I did. He was really fun. Like, Whereas the Skyquake mold, the Machine War Starscream, he was just a really fun toy. And like I said, I didn't know about these original versions, the like late G1, early G2 characters until much later. But regardless, the Stalker mold, Machine War Soundwave, that took me back. Like it felt like a G1 mold, like a late G1 mold, right? And it was like really nostalgic for me, just the way it was designed and how it felt. Like it if I were to guess back then, I would say this definitely had a version back in G1, I would say, because it felt like that, and it was I was probably how can I put this? It felt like something that would have that would exist back then, right?
Yeah.
Which obviously it does, but yeah, I hope I can explain that well.
I think I get you. He got a few repaints. The Machine Wars one, which is actually pretty nice. It's not as vibrant or poppy as the G2 one, obviously, but I think it still works. I kind of like it. It's got faux camo on the legs. Like it's on the image I'm using on screen. You can kind of see the camo on the legs, but it's not very pronounced. It's probably better back in the day. And there was also the Universe version, which again was Soundwave. I guess it liked Soundwave so much they decided to put him out twice. This is the one that has probably the most color on it, and it's got a cool like toxic symbol on his leg, on the little round bit up on his legs, whatever that was. Really decent amount of painting. I'm not sure which is I think I still like Stalker the best. I think Stalker still has the best kind of color layout. And I think the Universe version looks almost like a knockoff, if you know what I mean, just because of the color layout. Maybe it's the yellow.
I honestly don't remember what the Universe version looks like.
I've thrown him on screen. Do you want me to send you an image of him through Discord?
Oh yes, please.
Okay, hang on. Let me send you that. I know he came with a couple of dudes as well. It was like Soundwave plus blah. Does it say? Oh, this figure was also available with Transformers Universe Space Case, which was a repaint of Space Case, the original Space Case. So Space Case and Soundwave together came as a 2-pack. It was this one. Is that one of the Cyberjets Space Case?
I did remember that I wanted the set for Space Case, but I never got it. No.
Really? I would say this. Why did you want this Space Case out of interest? Because I think this Space Case is a lot less interesting compared to the original Space Case.
I did like the molds, but yeah, that's probably why I didn't get it. It just didn't capture my interest enough.
I could see that, yeah. But I think the Machine War Starscream, again, pretty solid. Kind of looks a bit more like a background character, but yeah, I don't know.
I saw artwork of Machine War Starscream. I forget if it was fan art or like official comic stuff, where like the ghost of Starscream possessed the like dead body of Skyquake and made it like turn that black color.
Oh, okay. Oh, fair enough. Sure. It sounds weird and bizarre enough to maybe be true, I suppose. For kind of that era of Transformers lore, sure, why not? So that was the Decepticon side of things. Now we have the Autobot side of things. So we have the Turbo Masters. Sorry, let me reiterate. Small Turbo Masters. The baby Turbo Masters. I had all of them bar Boss. So there's Boss, Flash, Scorch, and Hurricane. I could barely read Hurricane because it was red, blurry text on a brown rock background. Shockingly, this is not very easy to read. Tisk
I can't
to the
read
person who made that, but I remember it was Hurricane. I remember specifically I got them in. I think I got them in this order. I know I had Flash first. I don't remember if I got Scorch or Hurricane next. But I have Boss as well. They're all very sporty cars, apart from oddly Scorch, who's like 4x4 mountain car kind of thing. These all have very different transformations, especially in comparison to the Predator jets, which makes them stand out a little bit more. Hurricane was my least favorite, probably because he has a very, very broad chest, and the way that you kind of pull his arms out, it doesn't feel as like it doesn't. I don't think it looked as nice as the other two. I think Scorch had the best transformation, but Flash looked the best. And later on in life, obviously, again, Boss later. Boss is pretty fun transformer as well. And I love the fact that with Boss, you turn the cockpit, whatever you want to call it for a car, because it's the thing on his chest, you turn that bit around 180 degrees, so it's facing downwards versus upwards. And he's got like backwards, he's got the drift shoulders. Pre-drift, he's got those drift shoulders, which is also, I don't know, kind of fun. And his car mode has a giant gun in the front of it. Who could say no to that? And they all share the same yellow missiles, and they don't share the same gun, but they all share the same kind of millimeter port that the Predator jets do. They all have the millimeter port, but these aren't made out of gold plastic either. It almost feels like more money went into the Autobot ones than they did for the Decepticon ones, at least for this side of things. Did you have any of these guys, Orange? Any of the Turbo Masters?
None of them. If I were to have them, it would look like my favorite would be Scorch. His both of his molds look really nice. Like he looks nice and chunky. Like
yeah,
I really like the thick bots. Right? He looks right up my alley. Yeah.
I can tell you, he has a very satisfying transformation. His little arms fold up like he's doing a bicep curl, and then you take like the entire shoulder piece and you rotate them forward, kind of in a sweeping motion to go underneath the front of the hood of the car, because you just kind of lift the front of the hood out in front of his chest, and those arms kind of just tuck nicely underneath there, and then you just kind of fold the legs up behind him and tuck the head back in. It's a lot of fun, and they've all got translucent pink. And because it's the 90s, it works really well. The only one it doesn't really work well for is Flash, because he's mostly red, and hot pink translucent doesn't really pop too well for red, obviously because they're very close to each other. But he looks nice as well. So you probably get Scorch. So let's list them for yourself. Oh, we didn't list the Predators, for the small Predators. Pick them in order of ones. If you could theoretically buy them for a reasonable price today and now, what order would you buy them in?
I can't say no to that purple one. Like Skydive, that color scheme is really nice. I think I would pick Talon next after him.
Okay, all right, yeah. Is it because he's a squat little boy as well? He's kind of hench, as they say.
Yeah. I think back then I would have picked Snare last because I really didn't like the forward sweeping wings.
Oh.
I'm not sure now. Maybe I don't know. It's a toss up between him and Falcon as to my third and fourth favorites.
Okay. Well, what about the small Turbo Masters? You said Scorch was your first one. What would the list look like after that?
I agree with Hurricane. The aesthetic just doesn't work. Like if he maybe gets an updated figure and fixes his proportions, he might look really nice. But as he is there, no, he looks horrible. I think my second would be Flash because of those like big chunky shoulders.
Yeah,
and yeah, like his like torso looks small, and the rest of him like looks like he has a nice silhouette. Yeah,
he felt like the G2 Hot Rod kind of feel is how I felt about him, because I didn't have a Hot Rod, so he's kind of my proxy Hot Rod at the time.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see. And he has another plus that he doesn't help Optimus.
That's true. He doesn't get him killed. One of the things I like about him as well, Flash, is on the chest he's got a big like Firebird, like very like muscle car American emblazed on the front of your car kind of style, which is what I like about him. I like Scorch because like giant just flame sticker on the front of his chest as well. Hurricane, I might not like him as much, but I think his car mode's pretty cool. It's like I don't know what kind of car that is. Like I was gonna say Formula One, but it's not Formula One. It's just like a weird racing car. It's a bizarre racing car. And then there's Bosses, who's just it's just a car with a gun on the front of it. I don't know what to say about it. It's just all right.
It looks like a really big engine, like a jet intake engine.
Oh, that's if you took the missile out, it could just be an engine from a jet. Yeah, that's probably a better way to look at it, to be honest. Next up, the big boy of the set, the large Turbo Master. The one I don't have and probably will deliberately never get because it's gold plastic syndrome. It's what's his name? Fuck. Come on, brain.
Thunder something.
Thunderclash. Fuck, it's right under. It's
yes.
here. It's on the screen. It's right there. Thunderclash. It's in red. I'll blame it because it's in red, so it's hard to see. Yeah, it's Thunderclash, or as he was in Machine Wars, Optimus Prime. I don't think he made a good Optimus Prime. I'll say that now.
Oh no.
So I don't think he's nearly as good as Skyquake. He's way smaller. I like his vehicle mode. I think the vehicle mode looks really good. He has translucent pink for his window screen, which I think looks really good. The colors on him are pretty radical, as the kids would say back then. But the main feature of this guy is the base, and I don't really like it's not even a base, is it? It's just a weird gun turret thing. Don't get me wrong, it's better than Rodimus Prime's gun turret thing, which was shit.
Yeah.
But it has a similar vibe to it, but this actually has a few action gimmicks to it at the very least. I just don't think it looks very cool. I remember I've seen videos where it's the missiles shoot out from the sides, and it's kind of like gravity loaded. So when you shoot one, another one's loaded in afterwards, which is kind of fun. But apart from that, I just looked at it and went, no, I don't like it too much. What about you, Orange? Am I just being a negative Nelly, as they say?
Honestly, if I knew about this and could get it back in the day, I would love it, and it would be my favorite figure. Because it just looks so cool. And I beg Hasbro to give me a commander of this character, because I just love Thunderclash. It looks like he has a satisfying transformation. Of course, I don't know. I'd never had the figure. I didn't have the Optimus repaint. Yeah, but he looks really cool. He just looks really cool. I actually did read the Wreckers with him in it, the IDW2 Wreckers, and he was a pretty fun character in it.
Yeah. See, I think my issue visually with Thunderclash is the proportions, and usually with these toys I don't care too much. But if you like, I've thrown up an image of the Optimus Prime repaint, which is kind of boring, to be honest. The chest I don't mind. That's too large. It's the head. It's like he has giant head, giant chest, normal arms, and then normal legs. It looks a bit strange visually. Yeah. His
proportions are definitely what I wouldn't like in a figure. If he had more balanced or like larger limbs, that it would be a lot better. And his colors, especially in vehicle mode, he looks like a box of assorted Legos.
Yeah, there's almost too many. I think is it the red? I think the red shouldn't be there, and it might work a bit better.
Counting the teal, there's 3 different shades of blue there.
Yeah, there's a lot, and then there's just red on the bottom,
and white, and magenta in the windshield.
Yeah. He's there's a little. You can use outrageous colors together. That's fine, but there's almost too many colors. He almost starts coming across as like a clown car with the amount of colors that's on him.
don't get me wrong, I really like the colors. It just gives off the like you just threw it together vibe, right?
Yeah. It's just I think for me it's definitely like if you changed the red, it might help. I don't know. I don't know what you'd need to change it to, but yeah, there's just maybe a few too many colors on it for me. If I could buy it and I knew it wasn't going to have gold plastic syndrome, all right, I'd probably get it just because it's a Turbo Master. I'd be sure, why not? But knowing that it is gold plastic syndrome and very expensive because it's gold plastic syndrome, so finding one that isn't dead is very difficult. This is not one that I don't think I'll ever own unless a third-party company comes out that stops that reuses old toys and makes them not have gold plastic syndrome, which I still think would be a great business model.
So high quality knockoffs, pretty much. Yeah.
Because think of all the gold plastic syndrome Transformers that there are. There's a decent few. You could make decent money, I think, from it. Well, I would hope. Like Black Zarek, who wouldn't like a Black Zarek that doesn't fall apart? That's reasonably priced. You buy Black Zarek that doesn't fall apart, $200. You could even say $250, and people would do it.
Yeah, I see why people would like that. I'm good with the Titan class, the new one, but the vintage. Yeah, I understand why people would like the vintage, like especially if they had the original and want the nostalgia or just all someone's grail. That has to be the grail of someone out there, right?
Well, I think the great fear for many people is like, I can spend £500 or whatever on a box. Let's pretend it's only 500, okay? On a mint and seal box, Black Zarek. I don't know what he's like. Am I going to open up the box and it's just a pile of dust on the inside? Maybe. I wouldn't want that. You can guarantee me that it's not going to turn to dust? All right. Okay, I'd be down with that. We could also get a new Skyquake as well. Redo of Skyquake, so he wouldn't be busted. Well, not new, but, reissued, KO'd, as you were. The next guy up is the medium-sized Turbo Master, which is Rotor Storm, who I had. I've since lost his Rotor Blades, which it seems like many people have, because it's one of the more expensive pieces on him. I always like to try and use his helicopter blades as like swords, like Springer could, but obviously they didn't point upwards, so it wasn't something you were able to do. Has a battle feature, in quotations, where there is a little gray button underneath. You can't see on the image, but there's a little gray button underneath one of the rotor blades. You push that down and the missiles on the side kind of drop to a horizontal position. I don't know how that makes him more attacky, but it did, I guess. But the transformation kind of neat. Legs swing down, the cockpit swings down, and then the entire back rotor blade, the back section, the stabilizer, I don't know, splits in half, and you pull all of those upwards, and it forms his arms. It's pretty satisfying transformation. Maybe an only issue is that he's a little bit on the thin side. Like standing up tall, he's a bit thin. But that might just be an illusion of how thin his feet are. I'm not sure. I'm guessing you've not had a Rotor Storm either, Mr. Orange.
Yeah, I might have computer problems soon. I don't know if my internet is quite stable right now, but
oh no.
Yeah, I had the Machine Wars version, of course, and didn't know about this guy at first. But
what's it called for Machine Wars?
I think it was Sandstorm. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I remember his gimmick. I remember him coming with the missiles and the little what am I saying? The gimmick. I'm repeating the gimmick over and over. I honestly didn't find him that interesting. I mean,
okay.
He had that like power glide-ish like wing things in between his arms and his torso, which is kind of neat, but that's it, I guess.
So it wasn't one that tickled you too much. Oh, the Sandstorm version I think is actually quite nice. Like a green camo. It looks like the Sandstorm version looks like a G.I. Joe vehicle, to be honest, which is actually pretty cool. Got like camo stripes on the side of it, and it's got like the American military symbol on it. That's kind of fun. You know, the little white bars on the side and then the star in the center. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, it sounds good. Yeah, always can go for more America, right?
Yeah, and the universe version, it's Whirl. It's not as good. It actually changed the missiles for Whirl, gave him different
It's
missiles.
Whirl? What color is it?
It is. I'll send you the image. It'll be easier.
Oh,
It's because it's just blue again. I posted that in the wrong place. That's why you didn't get it. Soundwave. There we go.
oh, that looks horrible.
Yeah. It doesn't look great. The fact that the cockpit isn't painted, I don't think helps. The vehicle mode, I don't think looks too bad. That's the vehicle mode. Kind of like the camo on the vehicle mode. That's kind of interesting. Back to the
I have this version of the mold still.
Oh, okay. Apparently, he came with some extra dudes as well. A figure available with gun barrel and makeshift, who I think were both mini cons. Yes, they were.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you?
And
I'll
that's
send
why
you
I
the
got 'em.
sandstorm.
All right. Yeah, that's exactly why I got them. For the mini cons.
The not
Oh, yeah, I got it.
micromasters.
I remember him now. Yeah, there was an update to this guy with like a Bayformer mold. I think it was either in it was in Dark of the Moon or Age of Extinction. I forget which, but that version of the mold was repainted into
Oh, yep.
Machine War Sandstorm for the BotCon.
It was this one who I'm gonna send you the image of. I think you're talking about this guy, right? Go on, little image. There you go.
Yep, that one.
Yeah. And
That's
interesting. I mean,
also
it's a
good
weird,
mold.
interesting mold. I actually think that the Machine Wars one's pretty good. I kind of like the desert camo. You know, attack helicopters and then the desert variants. I always think are kind of fun. I could see why you're not like super pumped on Rotorstorm. I don't think he holds a candle to Stalker. In all honesty, I think Stalker's a much better solid figure. It almost feels like so the budget for the Turbo Masters was given to the Turbo Masters versus the Predators. For the bigger figures, I think the bigger figures, the Predator jets win out. I think they're better than the Autobot equivalents.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I like them a lot more. And the last of this side, at least, are the Rescue Force. So it's the shit version. Unfortunately, I have to say they are the shit version of the Breast Force. Why are they the shit version? Well, two reasons. One, they don't have the full team. They are missing Hellbat and what's the other jet called?
I don't know. I'm not familiar with them. I'm sorry.
Hellbat and tits. Hang on, I've just seen Axelhead send a message. Axelhead says, "Rip Rotorstorm, Overlord did you dirty." Sandstorm / Whirl translucent Rotoblades breakage nightmare. Yeah, actually, for my Rotorstorm figure, I don't remember breaking mine. I just lost them.
Yeah, the same here.
Yeah, it's Skyhawk. I remembered. No one told me it was Skyhawk. So with Rescue Force,
I was gonna say it, but I'm like, is that him or is this playing him? I don't remember.
No. Yeah, you should have. You should have said. Yeah. So unfortunately, the Rescue Force didn't have Skyhawk or Hellbat, but it had the rest of the team. We had repaints of Leozak. Oh, they're all actually called by the normal names. At least here on the promotion art, because I can guarantee you. On the packaging, I'm almost certain there was no names for any of these robots. I'm sure they had no names on the packaging, but there's Leozak, Jaruga, who's called Jal. It's hard to say because it's all in red. Jalgaror?
Jalgaror, yeah.
Yeah, Kill Bison, it seems like, as well, and Drill. I'm surprised they didn't rename Kill Bison, to be honest, to somebody else, just in case. and kills in the name. There are 2 versions of these figures. There aren't anything special about the 2 versions. One version have red weapons, and the other version have gray weapons or metallic gunmetal kind of weapons. Because these.
Also, they don't come with their little breastises.
Yeah, I was about to say that was the other thing that was shit about them. They didn't come with their breastmasters. So they were missing 2 members of the team. They didn't have their breast force master animal dudes. But you got these kind of one-piece plastic guns to go with them instead, which is a big downgrade. On the instructions for these, it didn't tell you that you could combine them. And when I found out you could kind of combine them, I felt very big brain about it. The first hint was I found out like on Kill Bison and Drillhorn, there were these big things that you could flip forward, which were the connection ports for the legs to go into Jaruga, which I didn't know what that was all about. So I pretended there were guns, like giant chest guns. The second hint I had was on the side of the legs, there's these little bits you can flip down, which is obviously for the feet. And I was like, what the hell is this for? And eventually I found out that, we can plug the chest guns into these big nipples on the side of Jaruga's legs. And then what do I do? And then eventually I was able to figure out how he got Leozak to connect to Jaruga. And then I was like, so where's the rest of him? And got really annoyed. And he obviously, Leozak didn't come with the head to go on the top of his body. So all of these are just the same molds. I think the molds are pretty fun. They're, again, quite simplistic. More interesting and bigger than Scramble City figures. They're about, to be fair, they're about the same complexity as Scramble City figures, but they are bigger. So as a kid, I obviously liked them more. Have you ever tried the Rescue Force or the Breastmasters, Orange? I'm guessing probably not, because they're not like super cheap to get, the old ones.
Yeah, never tried them. I do want to note that these are presented as Autobots, and so canonically there's an Autobot named Kill Bison.
Yes. Yeah.
That's amazing. But yeah, I never had these guys. I never had like the Combiner Wars versions. I mean the moles, of course, but not. Yeah, I never had any representations of these characters at all.
It was weird that for the Rescue Force, all of them came with guns, apart from Kill Bison, whose tank turrets were replaced with like robot pinchy arms, is what I'd class them as. Robot pinchy arms. Like they lean over and you can pinch them to pick up stuff. The drill horn makes sense because he can like drill into mountains for cave-ins. Jaruga's like like a mountain dune buggy, so you go in Leozak's a jet so you can get to places fast. And then Kill Bison's the guy, I guess in this set, Kill Bison's like long haul, the one who has to do all the heavy lifting, I suppose. I mean, it makes more sense to have a pinchy thing than a tank in a thing called the Rescue Force, I suppose, but a bit of a shame.
Yeah. I mean, as rescue-y as Kill Bison can get, that's...
Yeah. Did Kill Bison have gold plastic syndrome? I think he did, right?
I don't remember what he's colored as. I don't remember these guys. I mean, I would love to have them, but I have no memory or connection to them at all.
Kill Bison is either toffee colored or he is gold plastic colored, and I can't remember which. I know he's definitely in that kind of gold spectrum. Let's have a little quick look, because I might be able to find an image. Kill Bison Autobot. That's not the one I want. Oh yeah, he could be gold plastic syndrome. He could easily be gold plastic syndrome. I'll send you an image. There you go. Yeah, there's a lot of what I would class as ripe gold plastic potential here. I don't know whether he does have it, because I don't see any of the swirling in the actual plastic. It looks fairly clean, rather than like the big swirls, which is what cause the air bubbles most of the time. But I
see swirls on his sides and maybe a little bit in his thighs down there.
Are you sure that's not just part of the mold for the ones in his thighs?
Might be, but definitely on that right side of it. Well, left to us, but right to him.
Yeah, you might be right. Either way, I don't think I've heard people talk about exploding kill bisons, but then again, there are not many people who own the original kill bison. Maybe this is why. I don't know. I'm not sure. So that's one side of the set. I guess we can move over to side trois, the second side, which is not this one. It's this one. Let me copy it, because this is where we have more of the weird stuff. Well, continue to be weird stuff for G2, as you do. Where do you want to start with these guys, Orange? We have the Decepticon side, the Autobot side. There's the Light Formers, the Accelerators, Sky Scorchers, Tracons, Clench on his own, the Stormtroopers, Pyro, or the Aqua Speeders. The most 90s stuff, because this is the weird gimmick line.
Yeah, this is my jam. Why don't we start again with the Decepticons?
Okay. Is there anyone particularly you want to go for?
Let's do the Stormtroopers. They look like a nice place to start.
Stormtroopers. Not Star Wars Stormtroopers. Don't worry about that. Oh, these are really bad versions of the figures. These look like prototypes of them. Might have to find like proper images of them, because I really like the Stormtroopers. I only have two. I only have Aquablast and Hydred at the moment. I really want to get Drench, and I really want to get Rage, because they're really fucking cool, and these images do not do them justice. Let me get some proper images, at least for the stream, to see, because I love them. I love the Stormtroopers. Have you had any handling of the Stormtroopers, Orange?
I didn't know they existed until like 5 years ago, and I never got them. So no, but I did have the Autobot ones, which were a couple of them were repainted as Decepticons, I think, in the States. And so I'm familiar with the gimmick, and it was a nice gimmick, I guess.
Yeah, I was never, to be fair, before we actually have a look at the individual figures, I was never a big fan of the 90s obsession with squirting water on your toys to have them change color. It was never something, it was never part of my play pattern that I enjoyed, so I just never really did it. In the adverts, it looked cool, I suppose, but it was never something I injected into my play pattern. So I guess we could start off with Aquablast. I think I've sent you all the links for them, Orange, so you can have a look at them in better color. I would say Aquablast is the least interesting of them all, at least for the Stormtroopers. His car mode and color scheme are just kind of meh. There's no real pop to it. He has the big giant guns, which he has very hard time holding, which he has a very hard time holding. What do you think of Aquablast? Because I don't have a huge amount to say, apart from maybe the car mode's kind of fun, but...
His weapon looks really familiar. I don't know. It
is used for an Autobot one. You might have had it for an Autobot, to be honest.
Yeah, I might have had this one for an Autobot. He looks fine. I mean, his colors are kind of... It looks like the green that might be on like a military sort of vehicle, but it's on a car with a dome, which is weird. I don't know. I don't like the aesthetic, to be honest.
It's a weird one. And I think he pales in comparison to the one I really want, the one I want most, which is Drench. I love Drench's look. I love his colors, and I really like his face. Oddly enough, he has kind of a Tarn aesthetic to his face design.
I see. Yeah, okay. I see the appeal here.
Yeah.
Unusual looking shoulders, but I'm pretty sure I seem to remember them on another character. I can't remember who. That shoulder design, I don't know, but yeah, he looks fairly interesting.
Yeah, and I really like the car mode as well. Like the colors on it. All of these cars are like really good, like Hot Wheels cars that I'd really enjoy having. His gun isn't very cool, I would say. It's probably one of the better ones. It looks most like a gun, but it stretches from the back of the back of the car all the way underneath like a turtle penis. It's a turtle penis kind of gun, where it's way longer than the body. There's a fun scientific fact for you if you didn't know, Orange.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll need to send you. I'll need to before I say goodbye to you tonight. I'll need to send you scientifically accurate DuckTales and like scientifically accurate Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay.
They're small YouTube videos. It's to a happy song, and you'll get to learn about animals.
Oh, happy song. All right.
It's the DuckTales theme, but with new lyrics to teach you about ducks.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, horrible facts about ducks that you don't want to know, that they don't tell you. You need to know.
I guess I'll know them, yes.
Yeah, learning's a good thing. Experience. Hydred is next. This is one that a buddy at a TF Nation bought me. He was just like, "Do you want it?" I was like, "Why?" He's like, "I'll just buy it for you." I was like, well, "Yeah, okay, sure." I didn't think he was going to do it, but he bought it for me. It was a pretty decent quality. I wouldn't say he's visually in robot mode very interesting. His transformation's okay. I do like his car mode, though. Again, it's one of those weird kind of futuristic-y kind of cars. Definitely not one of my favorites, though, again.
Looking at his robot mode, the only word I can come up with is why.
Why? Why would you say why?
His proportions are not my thing. I mean, look at his tiny head.
Yes.
So tiny, and those arms. Nah. I mean,
it's for the time the transformation's okay, but it does like obviously compromise on how it looks. Excel Hedge says no, bad Andy, bad zombie. Why? I'm teaching Orange about things. It's fine. If you haven't seen scientifically accurate things, you should look them up on YouTube. But yeah, Hydred, not a big fan. I do, again, really like Rage. I think Rage is pretty cool looking. He's also got a good name. It looks like he's wearing, in James Bond films when he's like underwater and he's got like this tiny little scuba gear thing which he just puts in his mouth. So he's got little oxygen things off to the side, and then the gold bit's the bit that goes over your nose and mouth. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
And again, the car mode, it's a sleek, sexy black number. It just looks like a nice car that like a super agent would drive or something like that. I don't know. I just like the design of this one. I think again it works pretty well.
Yeah, he looks very sideswipey in robot mode, which really works. And
I can see that.
Yeah, he does look very secret agent-y in alt mode. I really like that aesthetic. Like it looks very square.
Yeah. Before, as we said, the gimmick is not for us. From the images I showed you, Orange, what do you think look better? The images of the Stormtroopers in the catalog or the finalized versions? Because I think at the very least, the finalized versions look better. Right?
Let's see. I would say so. Isn't Aquablast? Aquablast is not.
He's different.
Hydra, no. I would say Rage is the best on both sets. Yeah, and looks like he has Eternal Penis too.
He does. Lucky him. Oh, which one did you say? Aquablast or Hydred?
Let's see. If I were to choose between the two, I'd choose Aquablast.
Okay, all right. We do have a little image to show you how water works. It's pretty cool. We have Clench next, the big boy of the set. I got this much later on in life. I don't think mine's complete. I think mine's missing a couple of missiles because it's hard to get those missiles. They're really big. He's pretty fun. He's not one flat color though. In the image, it looks like he's just black. He's more of a really, really dark purpley blue with then like glitter in the molding, so he kind of sparkles as well, which is quite fun. He's fabulous, as they'd say. Kind of an interesting transformation. I don't ever flip his shoulders down. I always flip leave his shoulders untransformed and leave them pointing up. Just because of how big they are. They're a little bit 80s power shoulders on a woman's power suit for my liking, and I think if you just leave them up, it looks a little bit better. I think his turret's okay. It's not great, but I think as a individual, he has a really interesting face design as well. What do you think, Orange?
I really like his big turret thing. It's one of the more interesting, sort of like half of a vehicle turning into something gimmicks. And I think the best part of him in robot mode, at least, is how his lower legs are designed, like how the cab like wraps around them. Yeah, I really like that. It looks really, really nice.
Have you had a play with a clench before? Because like you say, the way that the legs transform is pretty interesting. It's pretty fun.
I can't say I have, no.
Okay, I will throw this out as well. This will test your like 90s knowledge. Does the face remind you of anyone in particular? Because to me it does, and it's just hit me.
Let me zoom into
90s cartoon. Think 90s cartoon.
Where
villain specifically?
I don't. Let me look up his face.
Oh, I can send you an image.
Oh yes, please.
Boom.
Oh, he does look familiar.
Yeah. Have you seen Toxic Crusaders?
I haven't, no, but he does look familiar.
I will find you a picture of the Toxic Crusader villain, because to me he looks exactly like Toxic Crusader villain. Toxic Crusaders villains.
That's probably why I couldn't put my finger on it, because I never watched the show.
Okay, copy this. Oh, it's a nice blurry image, but you'll get the idea of it.
Oh, yep, that's him.
There you go. I think it's very similar. I don't know if it's a direct copy, one or the other, but like he's got pointy like elf ears, the same, and Toxictron kind of replicates that with his the way that his head looks as well. Then he's got the triangle mask with the pipes coming out from it. I don't know. And the Toxic Crusader villain has the yellow in the hair in the center, which you could maybe argue is the big way you probably have the insignia in the middle of the forehead. I don't know. Maybe I'm seeing things, but I can see those things there.
No, I see it. I see it.
Yeah. I would say he's a really fun toy. Clench has not had enough love. We are getting a Clench coming though, aren't we? I'm pretty sure we talked about rumors at some point of a incoming Clench for something.
Oh wait, we did?
Yeah.
I do not remember. If it's not a third party figure, I don't know where it could be in Hasbro's lineup, because like how would you do Clench justice if you don't do those legs? Because he has to have those legs, and I don't think Hasbro could.
Well, what if, Orange, we just used the name?
If we just, I mean, Hasbro done that before.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean, if they can make Shockwave a Minicon stealth fighter jet, then okay,
yeah,
sure.
Who knows? Why not? Who cares? I'm
not. I know what Clench you're talking about. The other
from
Minicon.
Transformers 1. Oh, it was a Minicon?
I think there's another Minicon. I think there's a Minicon named Clench. The Armada Galvatron's Minicon, possibly.
Oh, okay. Maybe that was it.
Maybe. I might be misremembering.
I don't know. Rumors, names, it all kind of gets clunky in my brain. Axel Head says, still wondering how they are going to do Clench's new figure with Rid, Scourge / Nemesis.
I am correct. I just looked it up on TF Wiki.
I hope they don't make Clench out of that mold, because I'm kind of fucking sick of the Laser Optimus Prime mold being used. That mold.
That would be horrible for Clench. I mean, yeah, I agree. But even if it wasn't used too much now, it just wouldn't do Clench justice. I mean, of course, the legs wouldn't be right. I mean, the shoulders would be standing. I prefer them as they're supposed to be instead of like standing up. I know you wouldn't mind it, but I couldn't accept clinches that.
I
It's
think you
not
could
something I
probably
would pick
do
up.
him as a leader. I think you could do him as a leader. I don't think I'd need him to have the turret. I think as long as you just made him like a big truck with big guns, I'd be okay with that. As long as he looked like this kind of truck and not like just an Optimus Prime, I'd be okay with that as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I agree.
You could maybe squeeze him out as a Voyager, but I think he might need to be a leader. Excuse me. If you wanted to have the interesting leg transformation and the general silhouette of him, I think leader would do.
I
hope.
think if he didn't come with the turret, he could squeeze by his Voyager. But if he was a leader, he would definitely come with the turret and have all the bells and whistles. Yeah, he would need to be leader.
Yeah. The next up are the small boys. It's the Sky Scorchers, who I like. I like all of them. I had 2 of them and bought a third one for a friend's birthday, and I remember resenting him because I was like, you're not going to like it like I would like this. And I don't think he did, and I got annoyed by it, knowing that in the future. So you had Terror Dive, Afterburn, Wind Razor, Jesus, this red text, holy shit, and Eagle Eye. My issue, I suppose, with these guys is a lot of the character is pulled out of them because they don't actually have like normal faces. They have light piping for faces, which is more of a drone look than a character look, if you know what I'm saying.
It is. It definitely is.
It does give them a unique look compared to the Autobot versions, but it kind of makes you think like, maybe they're not like real Transformers. Maybe they're just drones to die. At least that's how I felt as a kid. I didn't think they were drones, but I thought they were like not characters generally. All of them have pretty, like, they're small. They're very small. They're probably like, how big?
Scramble City Limb, maybe a little bigger.
They're bigger than Scramble City. Not by a lot, but they're bigger than that. I was thinking, like, are they bigger than Core Class? They are bigger than Core Class. Yeah, they are bigger than Core Class, but they're not deluxe size either. They're kind of in
definitely
between.
not.
What's that?
I think they're about modern mini bot size, maybe like Bumblebee mini bot size.
Oh, deluxe, like Bumblebee. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. That's probably a good way to describe them. Yeah, all of them have unique transformations. They don't share a similar transformation. Well, the Afterburner and Air Racer do a similar transformation, but then the main part of the transformation, which is you grab the wings together and you kind of turn them around. Or rather, it's not even you turn the wings around. You grab the nose cone and the engine, and that entire like middle section kind of spins around, which is kind of interesting. I like these. All of them were quite fun. I just liked all of them. I just wish they had a bit more personality in the facial designs. Did you have any of these ones, Orange?
I had all of them, and I adored them. Looking at them now, like they're a couple of them at least are name reuses, and this is like after name reuses started being a thing in late G1. It's like Eagle Eye was a Micromaster, and Afterburner was a Technobot.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Huh. Maybe like they're the Steves and the Johns of the Transformer world. Like, everyone's called Afterburner. You know, you're another one, whatever.
Oh, you're another jet named Eagle Eye? I know like 3 other guys at work named that. Yeah.
Yeah, I know a microscope called Eagle Eye as well. A pair of binoculars.
Right.
Well done, my friend.
I do like them.
Yeah, they're all fun. I don't think I explained how like Afterburner and Winged Razor transformed very well, but when I described it, I assume you knew what I meant, right?
Yeah. They all was really fun to transform. They all had like, it sounds weird, but like they all had generic weapons, but that's what I liked about them because they were just like little handheld things that actually connected to the alt modes in interesting ways.
It was weird because like Terror Dives and Eagle Eye specifically, I think they're meant to look like the what is it? Is it a fuel tanker that goes underneath a jet? You know, so it look. I always thought it was a missile as a kid, but I think it's like a fuel tanker. So when it afterburns, ha ha
Yeah,
ha,
I
it that's where the fuel's kept for it. Is that right?
I I think honestly I don't like weapon storage in alt mode like this often,
Hmm.
but those are one of the times that I dig it.
I don't think it was as interesting as the weapon storage for the accelerators, but we'll talk about them in a moment because there's a downside to the way that they did theirs as well, a big downside. Because you could lose these and these were fine. I think, who's your favorite out of these? I think my least favorite was the one I got last, which was Terror Dive. And I think it's mainly because of the way that the arms look. I don't think it's as nice as the other one. I think my favorite one is the first one I got, which was Windrazor. I like his color scheme.
Honestly,
I like the shape of his jet. He's got a stupid eagle on his back wing. There's a giant eagle, a red eagle across his entire jet mode for a paint scheme, which is pretty cool as well. Really
I never
obnoxious.
noticed that.
Yeah. He's
Oh, wow, okay.
he's like the most American jet.
Yeah, he is. My favorite actually is Terror Dive. Yeah,
What do you like about Terror Dive then?
I remember him having an interesting transformation. Like his legs are the engines on his wings.
Yes. Yeah.
I really love that. My least favorite is Eagle Eye, partly because he stole a Micromaster's name, and I really, really don't like that.
I'll never let it go.
I'm not, no, but he doesn't look as interesting. I mean, the other three are just a lot more interesting. I mean, I like Eagle Eye, don't get me wrong, but like he's the least of my favorite G2 sets, right? So
I think he needed some stupid weird color scheme because like Afterburn's got yellow lightning stripes on him. The Windrazor has the giant red eagle. Terror Dives can get away with it because he's like an air carrier of like he's a big jumbo jet kind of thing. So they wouldn't really have like an obnoxious color scheme on him. Oddly enough, his colors, the white on him on the top of his plane mode kind of just makes me think of like a paper airplane shape. And Eagle Eye doesn't really have anything paint-wise that's very interesting. I think he has a good transformation, but color-wise, it's just like, hey, he's a green jet.
Actually, I think the main thing I like about them is because they look like generic soldiers for the Decepticons, and I really like that, like how generic Transformer soldiers can be so different and unique. That's what I really love about before modern day when all the generics are just repaints of everyone, right?
Oh yeah.
Like it during this time, they're different, unique, and interesting. Like Windrazor's wings are on his butt for some reason, but I think that's interesting.
Yeah, that's his entire back engine nose cone, which was kind of funny.
Yeah.
So would you disagree with me? Do you actually prefer them having like more non-characterful faces, let's call them?
The faces, they're not memorable to me, honestly. They're
do you not think that works more in the aspect that you liked about them, the fact that they are kind of droney kind of troopers, and like generic troopers kind of have a monotone look to them, so they all kind of blend in? Or would you have preferred them to have like, again, just a characterful face, just to add something to them potentially?
Honestly, it wouldn't have affected my opinion of them or even now, but interesting faces don't hurt much. But if they were just like a generic drones, and maybe if they had some good solid updates, figure updates to the characters, I would have to army build them.
Oh, okay.
But if they were like unique characters, then I would unique faces, then they would, they'd be nice.
Next up are the track cons, which is a weird way to, it doesn't feel right saying track cons. But this is Fear Swoop and Calcar. I currently have Fear Swoop. I do not have Calcar. Why? Because Calcar is expensive, unfortunately. I'd like him. Fear Swoop is a yellow jet F-22 Raptor, maybe the mode Starscream is in the movie, whatever. And he also has a giant turret with a very, 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 very tiny stand for it. It does work, but it is very thin. I like Fear Swoop. I think him as an individual robot works incredibly well with the Predator jets. He fits in perfectly with them. Same kind of transformation. It's really easy and basic. And, you know, the face design works well. He's maybe a little brightly colored because he's yellow compared to the rest of them. The Tracon gimmick is the Lightformer gimmick, which is you look through... There's a little image on screen. You look through the end, the butthole, the periscope thing, and then you press a button. The little guns, at least on Fear Swoops, go in and out because, you know, the machine air guns, so they go poof, 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 poof. And there's a little image on the inside that spins around. It's not very interesting. The description reads, the Decepticons confusion detail, a terrible twosome of recoil action launcher vehicles and armed vehicle and armed plane, visible tracker missiles compatibility acts as a decoy method to draw fire and confusion. I have no idea what any of that actually means, though.
It's word salad, yeah.
It's fucking nonsense. Like I say, I would like Kalkar. He's got, instead of an auto air gun kind of deal, he's got a giant Gatling gun with a stand. I don't care much for the gimmick itself, but I like the individual robots. Again, they've got that very G2, G1. We'll throw this out here and now. People might be really pedantic and say, well, technically, this isn't G2. It's G1.5. I always class this as G2 because it's such a divergence from G1. But some people, I know, they say that this isn't G2, the stuff we're talking about now, you know?
Yeah, these are some of the ones that I haven't heard about until recently because they were Europe exclusive.
Okay. Do you want me to get you some better images of the robot modes? Because the images in the catalog are not the best.
Yeah, sure. The little green thing on Fear Swoop's turret thing, that looks a lot like the thing that's mounted on Skyquake, the back mounted thing.
Yeah, that's probably deliberate. His face looks a little bit similar as well. I'll send you. Fear Swoop has like fucking stupid stickers on him for some reason. He's got like a load of star stickers, stickers you get in like a girl like sticker set from back in the day. It's just like random little stars. It's like, why? I don't know. Just he's got little stars on him.
Yeah, that's one of those things. I hate it. Sort of.
I never understood it. It's weird. It's the only
They both have similar faces.
Yeah, it was that era of like the weird face. I just kind of like them. They all look like they've got some kind of mouth guard or like mouth breather apparatus over the face. And Kalkar looks mean. Like his face sculpt looks like he's really fucking mean.
Fear Swoop, his face mask looks like if he speaks, it sounds like a kazoo.
What a way to like de-escalate the fear of Fear Swoop. Yeah, he's got a kazoo voice. You know.
Fear me, Autobots. We can't. I'm sorry.
I don't even know how to make a kazoo noise with my mouth, but luckily the stickers on his it's weird because the stickers on his like jet mode are actually pretty nice. There's his jet mode. I really do like the jet mode a lot. I think it's because they add the black stickers and the black with purple lightning bolts, and they've got this like knife insignia which looks pretty good. And then you take it to I'm watching Clarkson's Farm. That's why I went over to Clarkson's Farm. When you take it to the robot mode, it kind of loses that for some reason, which is kind of a shame. I still like Fear Swoop, and I still, like I say, I still think he works really well for the Predator jets. It's just, I don't know, he's just weird. But I do want Kalkar. What do you think of Kalkar, Orange?
Kalkar is
Not feeling him?
His name sounds like some sort of mineral you dig up.
It is a weird name, Calcar.
It is, but his vehicle mode looks really nice. Like both of the vehicle modes are like they're hauling big weapons around. Like if you see a vehicle coming at you like that, they intend to use them.
Yeah. You know who Calcar is? Calcar is Beachcomber's angry younger brother.
Yeah, that is my headcanon now. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I like these. I like these two. They're both pretty neat, but they are like, I'd say you're paying a lot for this stupid gun on the back, and I'd rather they just came as individuals, to be honest. I don't like
I love
guns.
the stupid guns. Give me stupid guns all day. Like, as long as it doesn't look like Rodimus Primes.
That's fair enough. Next up are the Aqua Speeders. We've got Jetstorm, who I have, but funnily enough, my Jetstorm is missing his eyes, like the translucent part for the back of his head. It's just missing, which is really weird. It wasn't mine. I bought it off eBay. And I didn't realize it was missing that part. It's like someone stripped his brains and his eyes out. Like from a horror film. There's also Speedstream, who I had as a kid, who I fucking hated. Because I didn't like how it transformed. It was really faffy. At least I found out, or at least I thought so as a kid. Deluge. I have Deluge. I don't like Deluge. He's very top heavy because he has a gun similar to what's his name? Similar to Aqua Blast. So it makes him very top heavy. And the last one is Aquafend, who I don't have, who I do want. Aquafend's been repainted into a black version as well, but I can't remember its name off the top of my head. I would like that one as well. Do you want better images of these robot mode as well, Orange? I can get them for you.
I do, and the first thing I noticed is that some of their names are like jumbled. Like in the U.S. release, they only released half of these guys, two
really?
Autobot and two Decepticon. Yeah, and their names are different. Like Jetstorm was one of the two Decepticons. Let's see,
that was the repaint. Jetstorm was the repaint of Aquafiend. That's who it was. Yes.
I think, yeah.
Yes.
And the one that's named Jetstorm here was named GoBots. I guess because Hasbro wanted to flaunt the fact that they had that name now.
You're thinking of a recolor as well, because GoBots was I'll send you the image of GoBots.
Yeah, he was orange. And Deluge, same color, but his name was, I think, Drench. And if you notice, Shatterglass sideswipe colors.
Yes, yeah, actually. Sorry, I'm just finding.
I think that's storyline relevant because as I understand it, Drench, Shatterglass Drench, in those colors in that mold, was like killed and Sideswipe repainted himself in honor of his fallen friend. I think it was Shatterglass Rodimus that killed him. Don't quote me on that.
Quoted.
These guys look really good.
Yeah, they're pretty interesting. It's I don't know what it is about these stupid like stormtroopers and aqua dudes, but they all have like pretty interesting looks to them.
Yeah, I really like the Autobots more than the Decepticons here.
You know, we all made bad life choices, I suppose, don't we? Boom.
Fair.
I do want to get like the Jetstorm, which is the black version, or Aquafend. I think he looks really cool, design wise and whatnot. A lot of translucent plastic on these. I guess that's because of the gimmick more than anything else. But how are you feeling about these guys? You say you like them, which is good.
Yeah, Aquafend looks a lot more interesting than US Jetstorm.
Yeah.
I think my favorite is Deluge still, because I had Drench way back in the day. Well, I had all four of them, honestly, and Drench was my favorite, the Deluge Drench. But yeah,
I'll tell you my issue with Speed Stream, whatever he was called, the F1 car was the way that you kind of transformed two halves of him. And you transformed like his legs and the front of his torso, and then his back half where his arms were stored were connected to the rest of him, the front part, with a C-clip. And he usually would pop off the C-clip to transform that part. And I was never quite sure how he was meant to look in robot mode, just because of how like the show, like if you look at the robot mode of that F1 car, the way that the shoulders kind of don't connect to anything, they just kind of lean down. I was never quite sure how those meant to go as a kid. And obviously I didn't, who uses fucking instructions as a child? Not me. So it always looked kind of weird.
Yeah. Why? Of course we use instructions as adults. Why wouldn't we? I mean,
I use instructions as an adult because I don't want to break the things I've spent loads of money on.
No, because you're smart.
Oh.
I'm just a dork. I just file the instructions away. I have a collection of instructions. I keep them. I never open them.
Well, that just means you like the challenge of transforming. You want to exercise your mind and have the fun of that discovery. I'm too scared. I'm fearful of damaging stuff.
You would think I'm like that, but
I
anyway.
know some people are like that. I know that for sure. Axel Hedge says, I will never forgive Fiercewoop for stealing Hooligan's color scheme for Revenge of the Fallen. Oh, yeah, he did do that.
Oh, he did. That's my first exposure to the name Fiercewoop. And I'm like, that's not Fiercewoop, that's Hooligan. That's my boy.
Yeah,
right?
Hooligan with the hot shit colors. Yeah, great color scheme. Super good.
Yeah, just tiger stripes all day.
And orange. It was a really good color scheme. It was really fucking striking. Anything else on the Aqua Speed Blobs?
Oh no, I just like them. Their gimmick was but they were cool.
Yeah. Next up is Pyro. Gold Plastic Syndrome Pyro, another one. A pretty cool fire truck, so they say. I don't remember as a kid ever seeing a fire truck that looked like this, though. He is obviously the counterpart to Clench, robot mode, and then he has a big turret. I don't think the turret looks nearly as good. Do you want better images of his robot mode and whatnot, Orange?
Oh, yes, please.
Because every time I'm just looking at these... I look at these images and I go, these are terrible images for the toy because you don't actually get to see it too well.
He's standing behind his thing. That is not good advertising right there.
No, it's not. There it is for Stream Pyro's robot mode. And there it is for you. There you go. I think the robot mode's, again, pretty decent. I think he actually has a waist joint looking at him, but I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, ratchet clicky joints on for shoulders, and his forearms are gold plastic. I can't imagine how quickly those exploded over time.
I sort of can picture how he transforms, but I'm not 100% positive here. He's one of those where I never had him, so I can't comment too much.
It looks neat, though.
I could just complain about how he won't get done justice if Hasbro updates him. That's
I think you could probably do an okay-ish version of him out of the animated bulkhead mold, the legacy one, the one they use for breakdown.
Honestly, I disagree. I think he would. His bot mode wouldn't look faithful. I don't think he should have that.
But I think if they were going to use one mold, that would probably be the mold that they would use, and it would be fine.
Yeah. I agree. They would definitely use that mold, but
I mean, in the perfect world, Orange, they'd make unique molds.
In a perfect world, in a perfect world, everyone would have a mold. We would be happy.
Yeah,
and the economy would the rest of the economy would be great, and we would not. I'm not going to get into that anyway.
What do you think of the turret? Because I think the turret's it's weird because he has a battle station platform and then the gun's off to the side, which is weird because I would have thought the gun placement should be in front of the gun, but looks a bit odd visually.
Yeah, my least favorite turret. I mean, is the thing he's holding on to like a view screen
I
that connects
guess.
to it? It looks just so.
It's just weird that there's like nothing in front of it. There's this giant empty like null space that they've not used, which it feels like the gun turret and the I guess the rest of the cab should have gone there instead to fill in that void.
Yeah,
Weird.
would the word be convoluted? I don't know, but
Maybe.
it's. I think I would be okay with without the turret, except
yeah.
he needs the turret to transform. It looks like, but
yeah.
yeah.
It's okay. I think Clench is cooler though. Again, but I'm a Decepticon fanboy, so what can I tell you? Next up are the light formers, not the Trakons. These are very different. These are very different. Like the Aqua Speeders and the Stormtroopers are both very different. I'll have you know. We have Deft Wing, which is a silly name, and Iron Fist. I have Iron Fist. I do not have Deft Wing. Iron Fist, oddly enough, in IDW was not colored like his toy because Iron Fist is kind of a flesh peachy color, which is really weird to see in person. But he's quite cute. I should actually get you some robot images again, thinking about it, because they're standing in front of the guns are right in front of them again, because of course they are.
Yeah.
Marked in.
He always looked like sand colored to me, again, because I never had him, so.
Sand colored, kind of skin. It's not exactly sand colored. It's a little bit like fleshier than that, which is weird. This image hasn't done him justice because it's overexposed for some reason.
Yeah, I can see why he's getting a figure from the Siege Hound mold, but not that I agree with it, but yeah, I can see
it
why.
makes sense, yeah. Deftwing's kind of a weird one as well. Like he looks like he's overweight. Bless him.
Oh, he's so chubby. I love him.
Yeah, he just wants a hug. It looks like he's trying to go hang gliding as well. Like he's got two like big wings on his arms and he just wants to fly.
He looks like he would
no.
He looks like a bro. He's totally cool.
He looks like a bro.
Look at him.
What makes him a bro?
He has a vibe. He has a vibe. Look at
him. He's got a vibe, bro.
Yeah, those gold plastic syndrome hips though. Ouch.
I don't know if he's really suffer. No, I don't think that's gold plastic. I'm pretty sure that's not gold plastic, believe it or not. I think that's just like a weird dirty brown color.
All right.
I think. Don't hold me to that, but I think that's the case.
But remember, Brown can have gold plastic syndrome to remember Transmetal Megatron.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking to Skyquake, who's like coppery brown, and it's like he dies as well. So, you know, it's weird. Yeah, again, they have the same gimmick as the Trakons. Iron Fist's little gun, Ratatats, which is quite nice. He's got quite a fun little transformation. He's kind of similar. Again, he can stand next to the Turbo Masters very easily. The only thing that really makes him stand out is the colors on him are a bit on the weird side, like I say. But I think his transformation's quite fun and cute at the very least. I can't really comment on Orange's bro, the Vibe Man.
It looks like he has. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say Exelhead says he's a bro for the Be a Good alone.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like he has something vaguely similar to Terradive's alt mode, sort of. Not with the air intakes on the side, but like the top like wings where the wings are setting.
Isn't there like I think it's meant to be a Harrier jet, but I don't know my jets too well. It just reminds me of a jet that I've seen at an air show before. The ones that hover, those ones.
Yeah, those are Harriers, I believe.
I think so, yeah. He's quite nice. I think Iron Fist's a little better. And what do you prefer? Do you prefer the light formers or do you prefer the Trakons? Which are both very different, obviously.
Ooh, it is a toss-up, honestly. I'm not sure.
Because you do like Deftwing and his bro
I do
body.
like Deftwing. I do like Deftwing, but I like Calcar too.
Calcar ain't your bro though. Calcar beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, like Kalkar is Beachcomber's brother, right?
That's
So
right.
I don't
That's
know.
right.
Yeah, but definitely Deathwink's my favorite. But
He's your fave.
yeah,
XL Hedge says, why is Iron Fist being made out of Hound? He should be a Swindle repaint.
well, his colors are too close to Swindle, in my opinion. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
it's one of those situations where his colors are similar, but his shape is not. Like it's a reverse repaint, right?
Oh yeah, I can see what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see what a new Iron Fist is like. I know a lot of people would be happy, but purely because of IDW. I got it before IDW had him in, so I was like, yeah, because I was like, he's G2, I must get him. So I'm interested to see. The last 4 that we have are the accelerators, which are the opposite side of the Sky Scorchers. There's Turbo Fire, Scam, the one I don't have, Scram, I don't have Scram. Windbreaker, who I got first, and Rapido. Rapido and Turbo Fire I got later on in life. So these are all muscle cars, is that right? Muscle cars?
I don't think so.
I don't know. They're cars.
Turbo Fire is definitely a pickup.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Some of them are sporty like cars. The main thing that they have going for them, their main gimmick, apart from being small, is all of their weapons are engine blocks for their vehicle modes. So if you lose them, you're fucked. The only one you're not really fucked with is for Rapido. You can get away with Rapido losing his gun, but if you lose any of the other ones, there will be a giant hole in the front of your car. Well, their car mode, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah.
Otherwise, these are all very fun little Transformers, apart from Scram, who I don't know if he's any good. And all transform in a reasonably similar way. I think the Sky Scorchers have a bit more of an interesting transformation about them. But I do like all of the different color schemes here. We have the classic thing of Scram and Windbreaker are each their own colors reversed. And same for Rapido and Turbo Fire. It's just reverse the colors on them, and that's how they came up with the scheme, which is fine by me. I'm okay.
Yeah,
with
they're
that.
like a Micromaster Patrol.
Yeah. You could. I think arguably you could have just the way that these transform. You could have just done these as Micromasters, and they would have came out as a pretty decent team.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What do you think of them, Orange?
They're my favorites of this whole page.
You have them?
I love them. I did
okay.
have them. Yes. I just loved. Not so much the engine thing, but the engine gun aesthetic is pretty decent in my opinion. It's the way they're stored, which is it's.
See, I think the idea behind it is kind of neat. I think it's a neat idea, and I think if you keep them and you don't lose the part, it's fun. But I remember with Windbreaker, who, as I say, I had as a kid, I remember finding it a bit fiddly to get the engine into the right place.
Yeah, I remember that too. Yeah.
But I do like these. They're all very simple, fun Transformers. And I think the only one that's had like any kind of nod to them in recent years is Rapido, right? With the
Rapido is...
What's his name? Was it Universe Prowl? The one with the really long neck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rapido is apparently just like a robotic Spaniard, I guess.
That's great. I'm down with that. Sure, why not?
Oh yeah, he's pretty cool though. I mean, his car, like the pink windshield actually works with his color scheme. In my opinion, I know it's red and pink, but like I think it works. I think it looks good.
I think it's because it's. I think it was. I'll explain why I think it works better here than it did with Flash. With Flash, it was pink surrounded by red. With Rapido, it's pink surrounded with a highlight of black, and then the rest of the car is red. So it has the black around the windows to really highlight them, to bring them out. Well, with Flash, there isn't a highlight. It's just red next to the pink, so it kind of hides it.
Yeah.
I think that's how you get away with it. You have to have that black highlight color to pull it out.
I think you're right. That it definitely is it.
Yeah. It looks good. I like all of these guys. I just need to get Scram. Scram's one of those ones who every time I go onto eBay and I type in Scram, I go, you better fucking turn up, and he never does. The only few times I've seen him pop up, no engine. I'm like, oh well, may as well eat my socks.
I recommend him. I definitely recommend him. He's really good.
It's the only one I'm missing. I need him. I've got all the Sky Scorchers, so I need all the accelerators, you know. I'm actually like looking at this this page specifically. I'm doing reasonably well with my collection of them. Not that I ever must have all the Transformers, but reasonably, I've got most of them, I suppose. I need Calcar. I need 1, 2 of the Stormtroopers, and then I've got all the Decepticons. It's Scram, Deftwing. I'm not getting Pyro. And 1, 2, and 2 of the Autobots. Yeah, I only need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5, 6 more, and I've got everything on this page. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's nice.
Again, wasn't really the aim, but like I say, I'm never gonna buy Pyro. It's too much risk. It's too much risk. Too much money, too much risk. I'm too much of a puss to do that, I'm afraid. Yeah. That's the catalog done. I thought we were gonna have time to do the other stuff, but I guess we can save the next load of G2 stuff for the next time we have a break in the news, if you want to do that, Orange.
Yeah, sounds good.
Where can people find you on the internet, Mr. Orange, if you want to be found?
I'm on socials as Keshmar Orange, Keshmar Orange, like the color. And I'm on Twitch. I still haven't started streaming yet as Orangeitis, as exactly how you would spell inflammation of the orange.
What are you going to stream? What's your first stream going to be?
Probably Star Trek Online. I'm looking to rock out with my Spock out, you know.
Okay, yeah. Very good.
Yeah, and maybe a couple other games, but definitely STO first.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Is that it?
Yeah.
Cool. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube as Decayed Andy. You can find us on the Moonbase 2 forums, Twitch, iTunes, Facebook, Libsyn, on YouTube as Moonbase 2 Transformers Podcast, and you can head over to ccbunker.weebly.com to get us there as well. We will be back next week for the news, which there'll hopefully be some, and I'll tell you what I've been up to over the past few weeks. Not that there's anything desperately interesting, but, you know, maybe there's something. Until then, once again, Orange, thank you for coming on and talking toys with me.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And thank you for listening to us chat. And if you want to join in with the chat, you can come onto YouTube or Twitch in the places I just mentioned, 8 o'clock in the evening UK time, or whatever that is for you in your part of the world. Until next week, thanks for coming by, everybody.
Bye.